Sirens. There's a cop driving by right now. He don't got his sirens up, but he's syncing with the ambulance with the sirens though. And then they're dumping stuff in a dumpster right when the ambulance gets to the intersection. And then a blue car drove by him when he went around the corner. They switched up the ambulance siren sound, and then he honked his horn right after that. Through the ambulance siren. Finally caught one on live. I don't try to do it every time, but that time I caught it. There's an ambulance siren that drove right by outside. It started up synced, and then synced with the cop car, and then synced with the blue car, and the people putting the stuff in the dumpster, and a bunch of other cars driving by. And then there's more cars driving by, of course, nonstop. And then there's these guys unloading stuff out of the back of a white truck, synced with cars driving by, synced with other cars driving by. Silver sync heads. And then they just started like, they'll just be standing there, and then they'll start doing work synced with cars driving by. But yeah, I caught those sirens, so that was cool. Not cool that there's sirens, but cool that I caught it, I guess. And then there's a whitey turning into a parking lot right as they slam the dumpster lid back open again. And then he's driving across the parking lot, and they slam another dumpster lid when he gets over. Or they slammed it closed when he got out of the parking lot. He just drove through the parking lot and out the other side. He did it synced with a dumpster opening and closing in a whitey. And then there was other stalkers and a stalker engine sound. And then more stalkers, and then more stalkers, and then more of them. Now it's the red stalkers, and then the white stalker with the red stalker. And then the tan and the silver stalkers. Anyway, it's just weird how it's just a mystery to like all the targeted individuals. It's just a mystery. We don't know what's actually happening for real. Like, we all got our ideas and our guesses, and you know, probably like I have a fair amount of certainty that I know partially what's going on. But at the end of the day, I just don't know what's going on, and nobody can tell me what's going on. And I don't know exactly what's going on, you know? Why they do this, and what's wrong with them, and what is going on. And are they getting text messages? And are they being paid in gift cards or not? And some of them being paid in gift cards, some of them not. And what exactly is happening out here? I don't know. Why is it that every time I go to the grocery store, there's people walking behind me right when I check out? people doing direct conversations, and then people wasting my time for no reason, and then all this shit happening. And then I come out, I came out of the grocery store this morning, and there's these birds flying at me when I came out. And all this other shit happening. And then what's gonna happen next? You never know. Might be another siren around the corner, or there might be a train horn around the corner, or there might be a plane around the corner, or there might be all three coming up all at once, or there might be a blimp around the corner, and there might be a parade float around the corner. I don't know. I just might see a RC car sync up with a cat or something. I just never know what's gonna happen. This white truck in the parking lot took off, synced with the whitey taking off out of a driveway, and then there's this blue truck backing up, and he's syncing with the whitey, and then this bird flew over my head at the same time, and then he's landing on a pole, and he landed on the pole right as the blue truck started to drive forward again. And then he's just stopped in the parking lot with the blue truck. And then he starts driving right as the train horn is going off. And then this construction vehicle is sinking in the background with another sink head. And then the blue truck is taking off, and there's a red car sinking with it, and there's a cop. And the cop is sinking with the blue truck at the last corner, and then this truck is driving out at the same time out of the parking lot. That's a stalker's head truck. And then he's sinking with black and silver stalkers in the background behind him as he turns out of the parking lot. And then when he gets to the edge of the parking lot, the train horn goes off again, and then a bird flies right over my head at the same time. And then this other bird is coming back, and he's flying over as this whitey is driving by. He's like flying over the whitey. And then it synced with another whitey, and then it's syncing with the stalker head truck out of the parking lot driving around the last corner. And then there's black stalker heads with them, and then this guy walked up synced with them, I think. And then the train horn is going off again as a tan car and a blue car meet each other at the intersection. And then there's the whiteys, and then there's another whitey with the whiteys, and he's doing a U-turn. And then there's this guy walking out next to me at the same time. And it just never stops. And then the train horn started again, and probably started synced with a sync head doing a sync head thing with it. And then the guy that walked out next to me just crossed the street, and he was syncing up with sync heads in the background, I think. And then he's getting in a car, and right when he got in the car, there's another car coming in the parking lot. And there's a red car with one light, and then he backed up, synced with another red car driving out, and he's taking off on the street again. And then these whiteys are sinking, and then right as the whitey goes through the intersection behind the car in the parking lot, and he's parked right in front of the intersection, you know. He takes off, and then when he gets to the edge of the parking lot, there's another whitey and another silver car synced with his silver car. And that's that guy that walked out next to me. And then there's a blue truck and a white truck sinking at the intersection. And then my refrigerator turned on with a tan truck getting to the intersection. And then this white truck in the parking lot is taking off. And then he's sinking with a construction vehicle in the background driving by again. And then two whiteys. And then two other cars that look synced to each other, and then this guy's walking out with one hand in his pocket, and he's syncing with the sync heads, and the white truck stopped driving in the parking lot at the same time, and then he's getting in a white truck, and then the guy in the other white truck just got out. And then right as he walks up to the back of the truck, the train horn goes off again, and another stalker drove behind him at the intersection, and he's parked right in front of the intersection again, you know. And it was, I think it was the Ponca van that synced with him. It was always synced. And then he takes off again right as a whitey drives behind him, and then a silver car turns in the parking lot, synced with a black car and the whiteys. And then he gets to the edge of the parking lot with the whitey right as the silver car parks, and the other whitey drives out again at the same time. And then it meets a car at the intersection. And then whitey drives out the intersection too. Another one, and then the white truck from the parking lot syncs with a blue car, and then someone walked in a building at the same time, I think. And then other stalkers with the stalkers, and then other stalkers with the other stalkers. Alright, now, here comes another one, I think. Yep, he's a silver truck, and he goes in the parking lot, and then he turns into the parking space right as the silver car drives behind him on the street. And then he's backing up as the whitey truck drives behind him, and then it syncs with the whitey at the intersection, and then the silver truck drives forward too at that moment, and then a black car was driving through at that moment too, and then probably black and silver sync, and then the train horn is going off again, and then a construction vehicle is driving by again in the background, and it was probably syncing with something again, and then the silver car is driving across the street, and then he sinks at the other corner with a tan car and a white car, or maybe another silver car. And then when it gets to the intersection, this truck goes tss, and then he's taking off. He's taking off in a white semi, and then he stops right as these two whiteys sync at the intersection, and then he goes tss, and then he gets out of the semi, and then he's checking his tires or something. He's doing it synced with cars in the background. And it's a lot of other sync heads, and they're black and silver and white, and then a red car is syncing with the red car driving through the parking lot next to me. And then there's these two blue cars that seem synced up, and then there's another red car, and then when the red red car gets to the edge of the parking lot, there's Whitey, and then when he drives out of the parking lot, this truck goes, and then this white pickup on the side of the street looks synced up, and then these other cars on the street look synced up. And hold on, I gotta take a breath. There's too many sync things. It's way too many sync things. The train horn done now? He's going off now, like right after I said that. He's really far away though now. This guy's walked all the way around his semi, he's checking all the tires, and then he's gonna get back in it synced, and he's doing all that synced. Like every movement they make is synced. And then he's getting in the truck, and there's a Whitey driving out, and these red cars driving out at the same time. And then the Whitey and the red cars are meeting each other and meeting the veterans home van at the intersection, and then the white semi is taking off when it gets to the other corner. And then there's a Whitey turning in the parking lot behind him as he turns out of the parking lot. And then it's gonna sync with him again when it drives out of the parking lot, as he drives out of the parking lot, or like as he gets to the edge of the parking lot. And then he's gonna drive out of it synced, and then he's gonna turn synced, and then he's gonna fart synced. And then he's turning out of the parking lot right as a Whitey drives out. And then it's syncing with another Whitey and a blue car. And then there's a bunch of other stalkers, of course. A lot. Too many to count. I don't have enough fingers on my hands to count all the stalker heads. I can't even count them all with my fingers and my toes. It is too many stalker heads. I can't even. There's a bird flying up. Is he sinking? Yo, I think he was sinking with this white truck driving around the corner. He just flew up like near me, and then he flies around in a circle around the parking lot. And then when he flies over the corner of this building, this white truck is driving around it out of sight. And they're always doing stuff like that. So I was like, this is gonna be one of those things, isn't it? Yup. When he gets all the way to the other side of the parking lot, he sinks. They'll either do that or they'll just follow along above a car. They'll just be flying in the air above a car as it drives across the street. And then this truck's backing up, beeping with all the white sync heads syncing up with each other, and then he stops backing up when the last white sync head goes through the intersection and drives forward, and then he's gonna stop and back up with other whiteys or something. Turned around, and then he's backing up with the whitey driving out right behind him at the intersection, and then it's synced with another whitey, and then and then he parks right as this black and silver sync head sync up, and there's a bunch of other sync heads in between it. And they're all synced up sync heads, and he's gonna get out of the truck with a whitey or something. I think he synced up with these red cars when he got out of the truck, and then there's this red construction truck that was probably synced. And then he's getting in another truck, and he's syncing with this other truck in the background behind him, and it's synced up with the other trucks, and they're synced up with the other trucks. And then he takes off with these two whiteys in the truck out of the parking lot, and then he's backing up. He gets out right as the whitey goes through the intersection. He's not backing up, he's getting out. And then he walks to the back truck, and then he walks back to the front of it, and this blue truck drove out, synced with it, and then he gets back in when it gets to the intersection, and then gets back out again. And then he syncs with the blue truck again with the red truck. And then it syncs with the white car with the red truck. And then he's walking back around the truck, and then he's getting in right as these two whiteys meet each other at the intersection behind him. And then there's two red stalkers behind, and then there's another red stalker, and then there's a blue stalker with the red stalkers, and then the truck is driving out, synced up with whiteys, and then he's getting to the edge of the parking lot, synced up with the white box truck driving out, and then the whitey synced up again, and then he's driving out on the street, and then he's syncing up with the whitey again, and then there's another whitey, and then he's driving around the last corner, and then he's doing it synced up with the whitey. And then there's two more whiteys, and then they're synced up. And then they sync up with the third whitey. And then the last whitey drives around the last corner, syncs up with a tan car, and a bunch of other cars drive out at the same time. And then it turns into the parking lot, synced with a whitey and with a trailer and a blue car, I think. The tan car, you know, and then the white car is synced up with another blue car. And then the tan car is driving by me, and he has a 55. And then there's these other stalkers driving out as he does. But yeah, I just wanted to catch those sirens, so later.